Watch this. You put a rag in water. Not only does the rag sit in the water, but the water gets into the rag. And when you take the rag out of the water, it tends to usually be water still in the rag, even though the rag ain't in the water anymore. And unless you get the water that's left in the rag out of the rag, that rag will begin to harden. And that rag will begin to smell. And that rag will begin to rot and mold. And eventually, hear me now, eventually that rag will become useless. Did you hear what I said? It's not until you wring and wrench and stretch and twist and squeeze and struggle with that rag to get the water out of the rag that you remove from the water, will you know that you'll be able to use that rag again. I'm going somewhere. So that next time when you pick up that rag is fresh and in position and ready to be used. The Bible says, Jesus, as he prayed to his Father, said that we are in this world, but not of the world. But watch this. When you was in the world, some things from the world got inside of you. Did you hear what I said? Some things from in the world got inside of you. But what God does is when he pulled you out of the world, he began to wring you a little bit. He began to wrench you a little bit. He began to stretch you and twist you and squeeze you and struggle with you to get what was left in the world out of you. He wanted to squeeze the world's shame out of you. He wanted to squeeze low self-esteem out of you. He wanted to squeeze self-doubt out of you. He wanted to squeeze identity issues out of you. He wanted to squeeze childhood trauma out of you and relationship trauma and transgenerational issues. He wanted to squeeze that out of you. He wanted to rid you of your trust issues and your feelings of discontentment and feelings of discouragement. He wanted to stretch all that out of you. He wanted to rid you of the residue of the world. So that when he picked you back up to use you, that you wouldn't be hardened like the world. So that you wouldn't smell like the world. Or be rotten like the world. Or become moldy like the world. So that you would be fit for the master's use without a worldly residue. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? That's why he said to be of good cheer. He said, for he has overcome the world. And since he is the only one that can say on his own he overcame it. He is the only one qualified on his own to wring the world out of you.